Jnanena akashakalpena dharmanyo gaganopaman Jnaya bhedena sambuddhaha tam vande dvipadambaram Ishvaro gururatmeti Murti bheda vibhagine Vyomavat vyapta dehaya Dakshinamurtaye namaha Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nijaman Mukhuru Sudhari Barnavu Raghuvar Bimal Jasu Jodayak Falchari Buddhihin Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavana Kumar Bal Buddhi Vidya Devu Mohi Harahu Klesh Vikar. Hanuman Chalisa starts with salutations to Sadguru. Mind is a mirror. Nija mana mukura. Because reflection is a feature of mirror and the reflection is a feature of mind. Mind reflects. What is the sutra? Vritti sarupyam itaratra. Mind takes the form of whatever it perceives from the external world. See, mirror doesn't reflect in a nice way if it is filled with dust. In the same way, if mind is dirty, it reflects the external samsara. If the dirts in mind are removed, mind doesn't exist. So, this is Amani Bhava, described by Gaudapada Acharya in Mandukya Upanishad Karika. There, nearly, we can say, when mind is reflecting the self, mind is almost self. Tatstha tadanjanata samapattihi. Grahitr grahana grahyeshu tatstha. This is Patanjali's sutra. Being in the object of meditation and becoming that object of meditation without a second choice, without a second thought. This is called as Samadhi, Patanjali says. So, mind has to start to reflect the pure self. Now it is reflecting various names and forms of samsara. What is the method to remove the dirts in mind and to make the mind to reflect the pure self? There can be so many methods. We have multiple methods here. Yatha abhimata dhyana. I don't know why I am quite often quoting now Patanjali today. Yatha abhimata dhyanadva. You can choose any of the methods. And all these methods are called as yoga, for your information. In simple word, yoga is any method to calm the mind. It has a very broad scope. Patanjali's definition of yoga, hope you may know, some of you. Yeah, what is that?
Yoga.
Yes. Yoga. Please. Yeah. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Stoppage of cyclic modes is yoga. It's a very uncompromising definition. If you take that alone as yoga, then you can call samadhi alone as yoga. Yuja samadhau. Root itself is like that. But when you come to Vasishta's definition, it by that the scope of yoga gets broadened. Manah prashamana upayaha yogaha. This is from Yoga Vasishta. Manah prashamanopayo yoga ityabhidiyate. Stoppage of the psychic modes is Patanjali's definition. Here, any method to stop the psychic modes. Upaya. Vasishta adds the word upaya. Any method to calm the mind. In simple words, you can have like this. If you take any method to calm the mind, that's called as yoga. Then anything can be yoga. If this is the definition, an evening walk can be yoga. Cannot also be yoga. If you walk at evening without having an intention of calming down, then it is not yoga. If you walk to calm the mind, then it is yoga. Performing rituals. If you perform Agnihotra, or if you perform Sandhyopasana with the intention to calm the mind, that's very important. If you miss that, then it doesn't become yoga. Even you can do asanas. If you don't have the intention to calm the mind, then it cannot be called as yoga. But when we perform asanas in each and every step, especially in the final posture, if we calm the mind, then that calmness is called as yoga. That's interesting. You make so many attempts to calm the mind. In that, all these things are linked, like doing puja, bhajan. And our elders, if you see their lifestyle, their food, their dress, and their functions, their celebrations, whole of our culture is designed in that way. The elements found in the culture are to calm the mind. But here in the West, many elements are here to trigger the mind. This difference you see. Generally, I give a simple example. In Navaratri, if there is a girl child in our house, we decorate that child as Devi, Amba, Durgaji, or Andal, Goda. Okay. Generally in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Hope that it is there in Andhra and Karnataka. I don't know. It may be also in North. I don't know. A girl is decorated, and that girl will go to the whole street, every house. She goes with a kunkuma and says, "For Navaratri, please come to our house." A small girl we decorate as Devi Devatas, and that girl goes and they invite the whole street to our house for a concept called Golu, which is very unique in South India. Okay. Various, can I call dolls? Yeah, various dolls are kept in steps. This is called as Golu. The word Golu is in North India. Yeah, that's very interesting. The word Golu is pan-Indian. How many of you know Golu Devata? Yes. A very important Devata in Uttarakhand.
I am from Uttarakhand.
Oh, nice. Okay. Golu Devata. Okay, so the word Golu is pan-Indian. But in South India, Golu means having various steps in which many dolls of gods and goddesses are kept. In our house, we conduct Navaratri in that way, for which we are inviting all the house, the whole of the street, for which we decorate some girl and send. These things happen. But when we start to adopt Western culture, this Navaratri, Golu, for that girl child's decoration, all things go away. We have another function, Halloween Day. Okay, nowadays in India, this decorating girl children for Navaratri has gone. Gradually is going away. And the Halloween day comes in every apartment where the children are decorated as ghosts to threaten the neighbors. Okay. This is a good example for how the Western culture and Western lifestyle is mainly to trigger our mind and the thought forces, and how the Eastern, especially Indian culture, is to calm the mind. If yoga is any method to calm the mind, if our lifestyle and culture itself is designed to calm our mind, then it clearly shows India as a whole or predominantly has a yogic lifestyle, yoga way of life. It takes us to contentment, trupti, satisfaction. Shankaracharya's brilliant contribution, matchless contribution is this trupti is taken to be moksha, finished. Atra Brahma Samashrute. Of course, this is there in Upanishad, but I think, to my knowledge, which is very little, Shankara is the only commentator who derives this aspect of liberation from Upanishads. And the other Siddhantakaras, other commentators, for them, moksha is somewhere else. Somewhere else moksha, we also respect it, but what Shankara says is, if something has a beginning, it has to end. So, if moksha is infinite, it can neither have a beginning nor have an end. Neither have something called attaining. Whatever you attain, you will lose. What a brilliant, wonderful idea, a contribution. I don't know in what way we are going to repay to that great Acharya who defines moksha in this way. Yada sarve prabidhyante kamayasya hridistitaha ata martyaha amruto bhavati atra brahma samasnute. Here and now, liberation is actualized. Atra brahma samasnute. When the craving desires that impel us to run after the external objects are calmed, here we enjoy the liberation. Liberation is already there. Our job is only to remove the dirts in the form of adjuncts. If there are various methods to remove the adjuncts, Hanuman Chalisa starts with the removal of adjuncts or impurities through Guru's grace. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nija Manu Mukuru Sudari. The dust of the lotus feet of Guru. Okay. By that I am, what is this? Rubbing, wiping the mirror and removing the dirts in the mirror. Okay. Nija Mana Mukura Sudhari. So now the mind is very clean. Okay. What is that shloka? Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shloka. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Maha Dava Agni Nirvapanam. The same is reflected here. Okay. So this mirror in which the dirts are removed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says removed by the Nama Sankirtana. Here by Gurudeva it's removed. And when I remove it, I reflect Sri Rama, who is the indweller. Okay. Baranavu Raghubara Vimala Jasu. Ramachandra, removing my dirts, I start to describe Sri Ramachandra, Rama's glory. And Sri Rama offers all four Purusharthas to the beings. Jodayaka Falachari. I am after all an idiot. Due to humility, he says. Buddhihina tanu janike sumirau pavana kumar. So, to get a discriminative intelligence, I remember Hanuman, Buddhir Balam Yashodairyam, Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi, and remove all my kleshas. Klesha is a yogic term, of course. It may be a common dictionary term in Sanskrit, but it's a yogic term. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhiniveshaha, Kleshaha. There are 6 kinds of kleshas. First klesha is avidya. Misunderstanding one to be the other. That is avidya. And then asmita. Avidya is misunderstanding one to be the other. Okay. Means this is a chair. Okay. If you understand this to be a donkey, there's a misunderstanding, right? I can't take it to be a donkey. Now, when I'm telling this, it appears to be a joke and we laugh. Of course, it's a joke. But we should have a guts to call it a chair. Even if the whole world, even if millions of people see this as donkey. And that's the guts of Viveka. Okay. That's the guts of Viveka. Let me give another example. Drinking spoils our health. Smoking and drinking are injurious to our health. This is a scientific fact. Correct? But peers around me, say, when Gandhiji went to South Africa for his studies, peers around him, they were constantly advising him to drink. Hey, this is very wonderful. This is very, you should have this. You should not miss this in your life. What a wonderful thing it is. They are constantly giving this advice. Through his Viveka, discriminative intelligence, he conquers that peer pressure. There can be peer pressure. All peers are telling this. What can I do? Whether they tell or not, millions may tell. But alcohol or smoking is injurious to health is a fact. And I will not take it. And there is a possibility of getting addicted to it if I take. With a strong discriminative intelligence, he just resisted. Okay. Students may ridicule, peers may ridicule. They may bully him, but he resisted it. When he came back to India, hundreds of people came to invite him because of several reasons. Reason number 1, he studied barrister there. Any barrister was invited in such a way on those days. Someone has gone to foreign country and he has studied barrister and he is coming back in a ship. Therefore, he has to be invited in a nice way. For that also, there is a crowd. And interestingly, he was popular in South Africa itself because he started his freedom fight struggle there. He fought for Indians in South Africa. Therefore, here some freedom fighters are waiting for him. They also stood to invite Gandhi. I don't know in what way they were all seeing him. Some people may see him as a very great barrister, great scholar. Another group of people, they are seeing him as a freedom fighter, a potential. They could see a potential of national leadership in him. That's so a huge crowd is standing. But when Gandhi is coming, when he enters into the land of India, his mother rushed to him. The first deed of her, she opened the coat of Gandhi and saw, because she is checking whether he is wearing the Tulsi Mala given by her. He has. For several years, he is far away from me. If he wears Tulsi Mala, it means he is doing everyday japa. When he went to the foreign land, his mother said only, Bolo Ram, Karo Kam. Okay, this is a sutra for Gandhi. So, every day he was reciting Ramanam. So, he was rescued from that Dushta Sangha. In what way Ramanam is connected to that Gandhiji's detachment from this peer pressure, one may ask. We don't have a quantified answer, but we do have an answer. Answer is very subtle. First of all, we need to understand, especially teenagers, youngsters, need to understand a very important thing. Not all questions have ready-made quantified answers. Answers are very subtle. And our culture is extraordinarily and extremely a very matured culture. Please understand this. So many things in our life are qualitative. Few things, ready-made answer may not come, but in due course of time, you will understand the answers. You may ask a question. Simple question can be asked. See, today we have electricity, all those things are there. Why should we light a lamp? A ready-made answer cannot be given. But in due course of time, you will understand why to light the lamp at evening. On those days, those stupids were lighting the lamp because electricity was not there. No, why should we continue it? One may ask. All questions have answers. See, in our culture, there are varieties, countless varieties. Therefore, we can go on asking questions. Why Puri Jagannath Yatra? Why Tirumala temple? Why this function? Why this celebration? Why Sankranti, Surya Sankranti? Why Ratha Saptami? Multiple practices are there. Therefore, multiple questions can come. Multiple answers can be given. But in Bhagavatam, for all these questions, Bhagavatam gives a single answer. We also can search for multiple answers, no doubt. But all questions have a single answer too. First of all, we need to understand that a fundamental answer before going to the specific answers. Sarve manonigraha lakshanantaha parohi yogaha manasaha samadhihi. All these practices, rituals, customs exist, again, to calm the mind. Manonigraha lakshanantaha. And calming the mind is the greatest yoga. Parohi yogaha manasas samadhihi. This is what the 11th book of Bhagavatam says. So, the same way, when Ram Nam is taken, when we chant Ram Nam every day without failure, naturally it takes to calmness of mind. This calmness of mind is nothing but a contentment or satisfaction. When we stay in that contentment, we don't tend to drink. Okay. We are not forced to have liquor or smoking. Okay. We can live happily even without all these things. That ability, that strength, Ramanama gives. That strength, Guru Charana gives. And there was a boy called Chandramouli. Okay. Now he is not a boy. He was my colleague in Srirangam. We used to go to school together. And he worked in several countries. Now he has got settled in our own city, Bangalore. Okay. He went to Australia, he went to Thailand, Indonesia, so on and so forth. Once I went to his place, I stayed in his house in some country. At the time, he was telling something. While I came here for my job, see, this is my huge house. I have this huge house. And in this house, I am living all alone. Only after 4 or 5 years, I got married. Therefore, even my wife was not there if I plan to practice some evil things. Okay. Probably I can have drinks in my fridge, or I can smoke. I could have even become a drug addict. Or I would have brought some concubine here because my wife is not there. Then only I got married. Nobody was there to stop me. But in last 4 years, even in my mind, I did not get that kind of thought. Can I bring some liquor bottle here? That thought did not come to my mind. This is for a very important reason. Why and how? He said, because while I was a child, my grandfather used to take bath every day in river Kaveri. Every day with him I went. After having bath with him, I accompanied him to the temple. On the way we chant every day Vishnu Sahasranama. Having darshana of the Lord, coming back to the house, I plucked several bilvadalas and also tulsi, some flowers. Then my grandfather used to do every day Panchayatana Puja. Several years it went like that. So that practice is guarding me. See, this is what he said. You can ask in what way it guards and all. Of course, I have explained that practice gives us the contentment through which we don't get tempted to get trapped into the external addictions. Okay. The kind of culture, that culture itself is strength. That kind of culture, that kind of psychic culture, that Panchayatana Puja, this guy also did not do. His grandfather did that Panchayatana Puja. And this boy accompanied him, plucking flowers and all. By that he developed that culture, strength. And without all those things, without those intoxications and addictions, he can remain happily in his life. Okay. Coming back to the point. Baranavu, yeah. This is the thing. So, to remove the dust in our mind, Guru Kripa, yeah. This Buddhi, I was talking about Buddhi, discriminative intelligence. To have discriminative intelligence and Vidya, I adore Hanumanji. Klesha Vikar, Harahu Klesha Vikar. It removes all the kleshas. The first klesha is avidya. For that I gave example, like Gandhiji's example. Okay. Injurious to health. Drinking is injurious to health is a fact. But misunderstanding that drinking to be very much delightful in our life. This can be an example for avidya. That's why I gave that. Next klesha, what's the next klesha? Avidya, asmita. What is this asmita? Misunderstanding this chap to be a donkey itself is a very great mistake. Asmita in this context is understanding a donkey to be me or me to be a donkey. This is called as adhyasa, superimposition. Okay, I superimpose. This is a kind of madness. Most of us are mad. Because I can misunderstand myself to be a donkey. That's a different case. But in philosophy, especially in Vedanta, if I understand myself to be Rangan, that itself is a madness. Okay. The sound Rangan, the name Rangan, and this body, and its mind, whatever local things are as if connected with me, the self. Okay. This as if connection is called as asmita. Drug darshana shaktyoho ekatmata iva asmita. By that what happens? We get a very strong attachment towards our own local things. What can be the local things? My son, my daughter. Okay. See, loving my daughter or son is our prime duty. Yes, it's duty, no doubt. I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about a strong attachment. This is called as raga. What is strong attachment? Say, the best son in the world is Duryodhana to Dhritarashtra. Raga comes in this way. I impose raga in some. Raga means coloring. Literal meaning of raga is coloring. I impose raga on someone. Whatever he does, I see it as right. He is sitting. Then we will say, oh, wonderfully he sits. Such a wonderful guy he is. And now you see, he is standing. Wow. This is raga. We don't know why we appreciate him. We resolved to appreciate him, that's all. Therefore we appreciate. This is raga. Its opposite is dvesha. I don't like someone. Whatever he does, I will hate him. Whatever he does. See, this guy, how arrogant he is. Why? He is sitting. Okay. That kind of dvesha may come. So, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Abhinivesha is clinging towards any adjunct. This is abhinivesha. All these are called as kleshas. Okay. Kleshas are various vikaras, mutations. Under Hanumanji, I pray Hanumanji to remove my kleshas. Harahu kalesh vikar. So this is how the HanumanChalisa starts. Of course, these first two verses, they are from Ramcharitamanas. It becomes Mangalacharan for this HanumanChalisa. HanumanChalisa starts with Jaya Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar. Here, Tulsidas is meditating upon Guru, Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja. Who is that Guru? You may ask. It can be Tulsidas Guru. Tulsidas belongs to the lineage of Sri Ramananda. Therefore, that Guru can be Ramananda himself, a very great soul of North India, as we have in South Sri Ramanujacharya. In North India, Sri Ramanandacharya is well known. Or Sri Ramananda's prime disciple is Anantananda. And Anantananda's disciple is Narahari Ananda, who is also called as Narahari Das, Narahari Ananda. And Narahari Ananda's disciple is Tulsidas. Therefore, Sri Guru Charana also can mean Narahari Ananda. Tulsidas is indebted to Narahari Ananda because he never knew his father or mother. He was grown by his Guru. They left him for some unknown reasons. His father and mother. He was orphaned. Even the parents are there. In spite of the existence of their parents, he was orphaned for few reasons. Okay. For some filthy superstitions, in fact. He was born with some teeth and his horoscope is bad, and he was born in Mula Nakshatra, like Hanumanji. Okay. Seeing all these things, they were under some bad omens with all these things. They abandoned the child. They gave this child to, and they were also afraid because it is also told that as soon as he was born, he did not cry, he was chanting Ramanam. They were afraid of this child because he is chanting Ramanam also. And therefore, he was given to a woman called, any idea? Chuniya. Her name is Chuniya. Chuniya is a very poor lady. She was taking care of that boy. And she also died, unfortunate, at the age of 5 of a child. Then child sought to, child was seeking alms. Okay, he was roaming in street in the place called Chitrakuta. You might have heard of Chitrakuta, which is in Madhya Pradesh. Very sacred place where Rama dwelt in his forest life. Chitrakuta, we have a mountain which is called as Kamadgiri. And in the Parikrama Marg of Kamadgiri, Parikrama Marg, how to translate? In Tamil Nadu, we have Tiruvannamalai, right? We say Girivalam. Like that, in Chitrakuta Parikrama, millions generally, they participate. They circumambulate the whole of mountain. In the path where the devotees circumambulate the mountain, this Tulsidas, who was generally called as Rambola. He is called as Rambola because he chants Ram, Ram, Ram and seeks alms. Whatever he gets, he takes that. Like that, he was in Parikrama Marg roaming. And even now, if you go to Chitrakuta, you can see that place where Tulsidas' Guru saw him. Narahari Ananda, Narahari Baba. He saw him and he also understood Tulsidas to be a Mahapurush. He grew that child. He first offered Upanayana Sanskar and took him to Varanasi first. And there was a great soul named Sesha Sanatana. He requested Sesha Sanatana to teach Vedas to Tulsidas. Tulsidas learned Shukla Yajurveda from Sesha Sanatana Shastri and came back again to Chitrakuta and learned Ramayana from Narahari Baba, Narahari Ananda. In fact, Tulsidas mentions this. Sukaraketa, I've forgotten that poem. In Ramcharitamanas it comes. My Guru taught me Ramayana in Shri Varaha Kshetra. Chitrakoot Pramukha Dhwar is Varaha temple, Bhu Varaha temple. Therefore he says that. He mentions it. So that kind of Guru. Okay. Narahari Ananda is that kind of Guru. He taught me Ramayana. Therefore, let me take his lotus feet to remove the dirts in my mind. This can be one meaning. Another meaning, Guru of Tulsidas is none other than Hanuman himself. I was talking about Sri Ramananda, then Narahari Ananda. Third meaning can be Hanuman himself. Okay, before going to Hanuman, let me come to another meaning. Tulsidas Guru is Dakshinamurti. Okay. Lord Shiva. Always he sees Shiva as his Guru and Rama as his Lord. That's his way. A very nice story we have. He lived only in 3 places. Okay, several years he stays either in Varanasi or in Ayodhya or in Chitrakoot. Okay, he changes and he lives in these 3 places. Once he was dwelling in Varanasi. At that time he was writing Ramayana. He is a very great Sanskrit scholar, Tulsidas. And only his slokas Ramakrishna Mission is chanting every Ekadashi in Ram Bhajan. Swami Vivekananda is highly impressed with Tulsidas slokas, Sanskrit slokas. For every Ram Bhajan of Ekadashi in Ramakrishna Mission, up to our times, this Mangalacharana shlokas are chanted. All these shlokas are by Tulsidas. He was writing Ramayana in Sanskrit. Okay. And every day he writes at night. Early morning he wakes up and sees his writing was stolen. He was surprised. Who is stealing? See, some thief comes and steals? No. Because book is there. The scripts are stolen. It is some mystic power, some yoga siddhi. Therefore, one who is stealing, he has to be a yoga siddha purusha. Okay, today let me see how it is getting stolen. Therefore, I will not sleep. I will be seeing that notebook without blinking my eyes. Throughout night, I will be seeing. Tulsidas is sitting. At midnight, suddenly all the letters disappear. Tulsidas is surprised and lifts up his face and sees Kashi Vishwanatha in front of him. Vishwanatha is Hara, therefore he is stealing. Haratiti Haraha, Haratiti Harihi. Both are. Okay. So, he prostrated before Lord Shiva. Only due to his devotion, he is staying in Kashi. Tulsidas is a Shiva Bhakta too. At the end of Hanuman Chalisa, he says, Sankara Sakhiya. Sakhi Gaurisha. Okay. So it's a very important thing to him, Shiva Bhakti. He prostrates before Lord Shiva. Shiva says, every day I come and steal. And also says, why I am stealing? He gives a reason. Enough, don't write in Sanskrit. You write in the language which is understood by common people. You should write in common folk. In Sanskrit, there is already Valmiki Ramayana, which is matchless. Why one more Ramayana in Sanskrit? Why can't you write? Already Kamban has written. I am telling Shiva did not, whether Shiva told or not. Already Kamban had written somewhere in Tamil Nadu, in Soda Nadu. So, and of course, already Buddhagonna Reddy had written Ramayana in Telugu. South Indians started to write in their own vernacular. Why can't you also try this one? Why can't you write in Avadhi? Avadhi is one of the excellent dialects of Hindi, Hindustani. Okay, even in North India, even in East India, before Tulsidas, already Madhava Kandali had written in Assami language, very huge epic of Ramayana. And in Odia, Dandi Ramayana, Balram Das has written. So following all of them, you can write in Avadhi. So that common people can understand. Okay. As soon as the verses flow in our ears, we should understand. You should write in that language, such a language. You should understand thoroughly the feel of common people, and you should offer Ramakatha to them through their language. Shiva said this. As per the instruction of Shiva, Tulsidas started to write in Avadhi. Avadhi is a dialect found in Kosala Desha. Okay. In Lucknow and Ayodhya, in Chitrakoot, even in Kashi, we talk only in Avadhi up to our times. Kadiboli is only a second language in these places. Avadhi is given prime importance. Okay. So Tulsidas wrote in Avadhi. Beautiful language. So this happened in Varanasi. And therefore Shiva is his guru. Therefore we can say, that is why I also started with Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti, Murti Bheda Vibhagine, because Tulsidas Guru is Shiva. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja can be Lord Shiva. That is why he starts his Ramayana with that. Do you know how Ramayana of Tulsidas starts? It's a narration in the form of Shiva Parvati conversation. Okay, Shiva is narrating Ramayana to Parvati Devi. In fact, Shiva Puran tells like that. He takes this from Shiva Puran only. Okay. So Lord Shiva is narrating the whole of the epic. Shaivism has lots and lots of connections with Ramayana. We should understand a very important thing. We need not think that only Vaishnavam contributed in Ramayana. No doubt Vaishnavism's contribution is matchless. Okay, no doubt. But regarding Shaivism, let me tell you, in Tamil Nadu, several temples which are definitely older than 1000 years, Shiva temples, they have the gallery of Ramayana. Senjadayar Kovil, Pullamangai, Tirunageshwaram, and Dharmapuri Mallikarjuneshwara temple. In all these places, I myself have seen, in all these places, in their towers and mantapas, you can see the whole of Ramayana sculptures. And recently, before a month, in some temple, while they started to renovate, in some tower, they found palm leaves. 300 years old palm leaves. They went through those palm leaves. It's a Tamil translation of Valmiki Ramayana. Translator is a Shaivite. Okay. Translator is a Shaivite. By his name we understand, because he is called as some Tambiran. The word Tambiran, only Shaivites have that name. Okay. Tambiran is a particular kind of saint in Shaivism of Tamil Nadu. Some Tambiran has translated, and it was brought, and it is now preserved in archaeological department of Tamil Nadu. Okay. So, for time immemorial, there is a very deep connection of Lord Shiva and Rama, and Shaivism and Ramayana. That connection is there. Coming back to the point, so for Rama Bhaktas, Lord Shiva is Guru. In that sense, Shri Guru Charana Saroja can be interpreted as the dust found in the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. The same Shiva is Hanuman. Next. Okay. This is also the view of, you may ask, did Valmiki tell that anywhere? No.
Kalahastishwara temple.
The temple's name is Kalahastishwara temple. In which place?
Thoratti.
Huh?
Koratti.
Koratti. There is a village named Koratti in Tamil Nadu. In which district?
District.
I think it's Shivagangai district. Koratti is a temple. There are some, around some, to my knowledge, 50 to 60 Kalahastishwara temples in Tamil Nadu. This Koratti Kalahastishwara temple is a very big temple from which they found these Ramayana palm leaves. So just imagine, before some 300 years, somebody has translated Valmiki Ramayana into Tamil. Probably this must be the first translation of Valmiki's Ramayana in any vernacular. Okay. Interesting. But it is available only up to Sundara Khandam. Yuddha Khandam is missing. Okay. Sarojaraja, Sri Guru. Here, later Goswami Tulsidas himself is telling Shankara Suvana Kesari Nandana. Okay, Valmiki may not tell that. Valmiki says only Hanuman as the Amsha of Vayu Devata. Okay, he is Vayu Putra. But in Ramcharitamanas, of course he is Vayu Nandana, but apart from that, Hanuman is Lord Shiva. It's not just a pure imagination of Tulsidas. Even before Tulsidas, Kamban tells that. And before Kamban, some Puranas tell that. And some Tantra texts which appear to worship Hanuman, which came for Hanumat Puja. They also tell that. And in my view, this is purely my view, whether you agree or not, whether scholars agree or not, in Valmiki Ramayana, there are hints to show Hanuman as Shiva. Valmiki doesn't deal with that directly, but there are hints. For understanding Valmiki's hints, we need to understand first what is Shiva. By that only Valmiki's statement you can appreciate. Who is Shiva? What is Shiva? You need to go to the Veda for that. In the Veda, Shiva's name is Rudra. Okay. Doesn't mean the word Shiva is not found in the Veda. Wherever Rudra comes, the word Shiva also comes. In Puranas, the word Shiva is predominant. In the Veda, Rudra is predominant. Both are one. Both are the two names of one deity, Lord Shiva. What is this Rudra? If you ask this question, it's a very complex subject matter. In the very beginning of Rig Veda, the praise of Ashwins comes. In that Ashwin mantra, whom in Tamil we call as Ashwini Kumaras, they are called as Ashwini Kumaras because they are the presiding deities of Ashwini Nakshatra. In Veda, they are Ashwins. Ashvi, Ashwino, Ashwinaha. Okay. And they are, these Ashwins, see, every deity in the Rig Veda has majorly two layers of meaning. One gross, another one esoteric. Gross meaning presiding deities of Ashwini stars, which are visible especially in early morning, Arunodaya Kala. Arunodaya is Ushas, very important deity in the Veda. But when you go to the esoteric meaning of Ashwins and Ushas, these are the three, like Balabhadra, Subhadra and Krishna. Okay, two Ashwins stand by two sides, Ushas stands in between. Ushas is a very important deity in Rig Veda, probably more important deity than Ashwins themselves. Okay. In the Rig Veda, interestingly, the women deities are more esoteric than the male deities. Okay. And this Ushas, she is a divine mother, divine daughter, in fact. She is. Okay. I should not drag much, but yet, if you enter into Veda, it's a ocean. Sun, Savita or Pusha or Surya, that is sun. Externally is the sun. But internally the same sun is pure self. Okay. Surya Atma Jagatas Tastushascha. And this Atman. And when we are in deep meditation, gradually the Atman is going to get revealed. The penultimate state of Samadhi. Okay, this is Ushas. Please understand. Externally, Ushas is something different. Externally, before sun's rays, there is a dawn. Okay. Arunodaya Kala. This Arunodaya Kala is Ushas. She is called as Ushas. She is also called as Savitri because she is a daughter of Savita. Sri Aurobindo wrote an epic named Savitri. The epic starts with the statement, it was an hour before gods awake. Fathomless zero occupied the world. This is how it starts. Okay. The whole of the epic is about this deity. And in the perception of Aurobindo, Mahabharata Savitri is none other than the incarnation of that Savitri. Okay. That Rigvedic Savitri. Satyavan Savitri. This Rigvedic Savitri is the Samadhi, which indicates the Atma Sakshatkara. Okay. Which just comes before Atma Sakshatkara. In Patanjali's words, this can be called as Kaivalya Pragbhara. Patanjali uses this word. This is the Ushas of Rig Veda. And normally Ashwins, Ashwa means horse. Horse in Rig Veda is Prana. Ashvi means mastery over horse, which means mastery over Prana. Okay. So, two masters of Prana. They are nothing but Puraka and Rechaka. They are Ashwins. Puraka, Rechaka, you know. See, pranayama is a practice of mastery over prana. In pranayama, we inhale and exhale. One is puraka, another one is rechaka. These two processes are ashwins.
And they can't stay apart.
Sorry?
And that's
They
why
can't
they're
stay
twins.
apart. And kumbhaka is ushas. Kumbhaka is stoppage of breath. That is the ushas. In which, with which the stoppage of thoughts also happens. Chalevate chalam chittam. So that we get Atma Sakshatkara. Pavana Chalana Rodhat Atmanishta Bhavatvam, Ramana Maharshi. Okay. By stopping the breath, be in self. Ramana Maharshi says this. That is the ultimate samadhi. Okay. After describing these devatas, let me come to this point. In Rigveda, when Ashwins are described, there comes a statement, Ayatam Rudravartani. O Ashwins, please come in the course of Lord Rudra. I think this is the first place in Rigveda which mentions Rudra. Ayatam Rudravartani. Ramayana also talks about it. Kumara viva pavaki. Sthanum devam iva achintyam kumara viva pavaki. Rama and Lakshmana followed Vishwamitra like Ashwins followed Rudra. Sthanu. Very interesting simile. Okay. But nowadays, when even me, all kathakars, to make the people to understand, to gladden the people, we translate in a different way. Like Lord Ganesha and Kumara are following Shiva. Rama and Lakshmana followed Vishwamitra. But if you go to the meaning as it is in the text, as Ashwins follow Rudra, that's how it comes. Okay. Ashwins are also good healers because pranayama heals. How nice it is. And Rudra is a very great healer in the Veda. Vaidyanath. Bishaktamam tva vranomi. Any other one? I think there are several mantras, of course, to show Rudra as a Bishak. Bishak is not bishop. Bishak means physician. Okay. Rudra, let me take the concept of Rudra. What is this Rudra then? You described Ashwins, Ushas and all. What is Rudra? Very subtle thing. If you go to the etymological meaning of Rudra, it has several meanings. It's an archetypal word basically. In fact, any Vedic word is archetypal. Coming back to Rudra, I am comfortable to interpret Rudra in this way. Ruvan dravati iti Rudraha. Okay. Dravati means speed, acceleration. Ruvan is sound. Okay. Speed with sound, acceleration with sound. This is the predominant feature of Rudra. When you go through the Rudra's suktas throughout the Veda, you can understand Rudra as the presiding deity of acceleration, speed, cosmic speed. And cosmic speed is expected at the time of the destruction of world, samhara. And not only at the time of destruction of world, at any time it is required. Cosmic speed is all pervasive. Even now, so many cells are dying in body. And they are thrown out. They should be thrown out. Otherwise it will make us to suffer from diseases. Okay. And everywhere, subatomic particles, atoms, electrons, protons, photons, everywhere you see a tremendous speed which is going on and on. Chaos which is going on and on. And this speed, this acceleration, this chaos, which is cosmic in general, which is universal in general, without which universe doesn't exist. This is Rudra. Rudra is a presiding deity of that. Okay. Because he is coming from Niagara. You can see that, you can experience that cosmic speed there. Okay. Niagara. And if you move towards Niagara Falls, sitting in a boat, you can absolutely experience it. What you can experience? Rudra Tandam you can experience. There's a speed you can experience. Anyhow, one may ask this question, how this speed is connected to medicine? Why Rudra is called as Vaidyanatha? Constantly Veda shows Rudra as a physician. Why? Normally speed creates diseases. It doesn't calm the diseases. Okay. Speedy way of life, stressful way of life. And these are the reasons for various diseases. When the mind starts to think in a very accelerated way, diseases come. But contrarily, here the Veda calls the presiding deity of speed as Vaidyanatha, as Bishak. How it's possible? Here is an answer. Speed is of two kinds. One, normally the speed which we see. Second, Niyata Vega. There is a disciplined speed. There is a disciplined speed that you can see. What do you mean by disciplined speed? Any idea?
Uniform speed. No accident.
Very good. Uniform speed. Yaru paatha? Okay. How nice she brought that. Thanks for giving this answer. Shakespeare says, in Hamlet became mad. He did not become mad. He pretends to be mad. Generally all people think him to be mad, and he also enacts. There was one minister, I've forgotten his name. He was watching this Hamlet. And that minister says to the king, Hamlet, yes, everybody calls him as mad, but there is a method in his madness. There is a method in his madness. A very, very interesting statement. You can take this whole of Hinduism to be madness. And there is a method in the madness of Hinduism. When you look at Hinduism in a peripheral way, if some Vellakaran, if some Westerner sees Hinduism, he will be confused. What is happening here? If he comes to India, what's the conception of God in Hinduism? If he asks this question, he will be totally confused. First he will go to Puri Jagannath. He will see Rath Yatra. He may understand that to be God. And he will come to Tirumala again. There, Protasi celebration will be there. We do so many things for God. Okay, we make a boy to stand. That boy will be trying to get the makhan, butter. With a stick he is breaking the pot. That picture is there. Who is this boy? That Westerner asks. Then I answer, God. This is our conception of God. He feels very difficult to perceive. What is the idea of God for these Hindus? From the peripheral look, he may think this is very chaotic. Yes, it is chaotic. But when you observe this chaos, there will be a method. And the method also is meticulous. Not an easy method. Let me just give a simple example because I have to go back to my topic. say our scripture, Veda. No other religion has preserved its scripture in a meticulous way as Hindus have done. For last several millennia, you don't see any change in this text, Veda. Preserved meticulously. Please understand, preserved meticulously. Through several redundancy techniques like pada, krama, ghana, so on and so forth. And due to these techniques, Vedas never undergo any change for several millennia. Researchers are surprised. How do researchers know that Vedas never undergo any change? The answer is, Vedas don't have differences in recensions. Pata Veda. There is something called Pata Veda. Vasanad Vasudevasya Vasitam Bhunatrayam or Vasitam Jagatrayam. Pata Veda. Vasitam Bhunatrayam also is a Pata, is a recension. Another recension, Vasitam Jagatrayam. In this way, any scripture undergoes changes. Not only scriptures, any text. Any text. Shakespeare also undergoes changes. Milton also undergoes changes. Just in last 400 years. Do you know which book underwent changes in its maximum level? Bible. Yes, Bible. Ramayana, you are right. But Ramayana, for which maximum versions came. Okay. The text itself doesn't undergo changes. Okay. Many versions you have only for Ramayana, I think. If some popular story comes, you will have 3 or 4 versions. Say, Julius Caesar, Antony and Cleopatra. They have some 4 or 5 versions. Shakespeare's version, Dryden's version, Plutarch's version. To my knowledge, only 3. But when you take Ramayana, Tulsidas version, Kamban's version, it may have lots and lots of versions, but the text doesn't undergo change. Of course, in very few places in Valmiki Ramayana underwent changes. But when you come to the Vedas, Vedas never underwent change. It can be proven because recensions you don't have. There is Shakala Samhita of Rigveda. Okay. Rigvedic Shakala Samhita is common throughout India. Chaukamba Press of Varanasi publishes Shakala Samhita, and R.L. Kashyap publishes Shakala Samhita, and in Tamil Nadu some Mutt publishes Kumbakonam publishes Shakala Samhita. It's exactly the same. Even its swaras, exactly the same. This reveals that Rigveda did not undergo change. I am giving this example simply because you see the Hindus, how meticulously they safeguard. You can announce also. Yeah, better.
Yeah, 2 cars to be taken out.
Yeah, KD16CEK.
KD16.
KD16CEK.
And one more car, 2 cars.
The other one, there's another photo.
One more. 814PTE.
Hinduism may appear chaotic, but there is a method within itself. In the same way, the speed of Rudra appears chaotic. Within it, there is a method. That is what she called as uniformity, uniform speed. A very nice name. Methodic speed, methodic acceleration. In Ramayana, there is a very nice event. The war of Rama and Ravana. Rama's acceleration is more. so that the speedy job of Rama, he takes the bow and shoots the arrow. Ravana could not bear that speed. Ravana's speed is Rajasic speed. Rama's speed is Sattvic speed. And Sattvic speed cannot be bore by Rajasic speed. See, we expect Rajas to have more speed than Sattva. But how it is possible? Because Sattvic speed has a method, has a discipline, which Rajasic speed doesn't have. Rama's rage has a method. Rama's speed has a method. Okay, that's interesting. So, this Niyata Vega, this disciplined speed, is the concept to which the presiding deity is Rudra. And this disciplined speed is very, very important in our spiritual sadhana. That is why Rudra is extremely important in our spiritual sadhana. Rudra is the Adi Guru in Hatha Yoga. This is because the whole of Hatha Yoga is nothing but the speed, disciplined speed. Kriyas, Bandhas and Mudras, whether you take Kapalabhati or you take Dhotis, Vaman Dhoti, so on and so forth. Everywhere you see this acceleration. Following the acceleration, there is a silence. This is the feature of Hatha Yoga. By constant practice of this Hatha Yoga, you transform yourself to Raja Yoga. You get transformed to Raja Yoga or Bhakti Yoga even. This is a very subtle concept, subtle sadhana. Okay. And here you see, in the transformation of Hatha Yoga to Raja Yoga, or in the transformation of Hatha Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, Ram Nam plays a vital role. Okay, chanting Rama Nama. The great Hatha Yoga masters like Gorakhnath or Matsyendranath, they emphasize to recite Rama Nama. Okay. Which can transform yourself from Hatha Yoga to Bhakti Yoga or Raja Yoga. That is why all these Hatha Siddhas chant Ramanama and also have abode as Varanasi. That is why in Varanasi, Lord Shiva, Puranas describe, even Tantra describes, Lord Shiva always chant Ramanama. Okay. Kashi Rahasyam, a tantric text. It is a great surprise. No Vaishnava text says that Shiva is chanting Ramanama. These tantric texts, Shaivite texts, they say that Shiva is always chanting Ramanama. And in the prescription of puja in Varanasi, especially in Saptarshi Puja, in every Bilva leaf, the Rama Nama is written. And this Bilva garland is offered to Shiva. This is how Shiva Puja has to be performed in Kashi. Why, in what way Shiva is connected to Rama Nama, one may wonder. In my view, this Ramanama plays a vital role in the transformation from Hatha Yoga to Raja Yoga. And Shiva is a very important deity of this cosmic speed, which is a very important feature in Hatha Yoga. All these things are, connected. When you say the same Shiva is coming in the form of Hanuman, there is a shloka in Valmiki Ramayana just before the starting of Sundara Khandam. Kishkinda Kanda ends with that shloka. Savegavan Vega Samahitatma Hari Praviraha Paravirahanta Manasamadhaya Mahanubhavaha Jagama Lankam Manasa Manasvi. Jambavan motivates Hanuman to go to Lanka. Hanuman grows further and he enlarges his form. He is standing upon the mountain. So now what do you expect? Hanuman kindles his speed. Hanuman impulses his action to move to Lanka. This is what we expect from Hanuman. But Valmiki says, Hanuman calms his mind. Manas samadhaye. Hanuman is standing in Tadasana. And he is with closed eyes, he is totally calming his mind. Mana samadhana. And he is an experienced soul. Mahanubhavaha. And after the, after completely calming the mind, staying in that absolute calmness, absolute peace, from the depth of peace, he generates acceleration. Okay. He evokes a speed. Sundara Khanda's first shloka. Calming the mind, manasamadhaya, Kishinda Kanta ends. And the Sundara Khanda starts with the statement, Iyesha. Iyesha is impulsion. Okay. Iyesha padaman veshtum charana charite pati. Hanuman becomes impulsive. His wild speed is derived from that absolute calmness. Exactly, this is Rudra of the Veda. Okay. Due to this power, Hanuman is Rudra. See, Valmiki's hint. Okay. And all those activities after that, all those activities have come from that speed, which is derived from that absolute silence. Okay. He travels, he crosses the ocean, he fights with Simika, Surasa, and Lankadi Devata. He searches for Sita everywhere in the city. And fights with Akshakumara or Jambumali, everything. All these things are from the acceleration derived out of his own silence. And this is again and again emphasized by Valmiki in several places. Okay. Pravegam Vichintayan Swakarma Yogam cha. He calls on one hand Pravega, Valmiki says, another hand he says Karma Yoga. Okay. That's how the whole story of Sundara Khanda goes. Therefore, in this way, the whole Sundara Khanda is pervaded by Rudra. Tukamhane Rudra Anjanitsiya Kumara. Sant Tukaram sings. Okay. Samartha Rama sings. Samartha Rama sees Hanuman as Rudra. Okay. So that great Rudra is compassionate to come in the form of Hanuman to bless all of us. Shankara Suvana. Kesari Nandana. Teja Pratap Maha, what is it? Jagavandana. Okay. Shankara Suvana, Kesari Nandana. Tej in Hindi has two meanings. One, luster. This is in Sanskrit also, Tej is luster. But in Hindi, special meaning is speed. Okay. So Shankara Suvana, next to that the speed comes. It's very interesting. Teja Pratap Maha Jagavandana. So such kind of great next 5 minutes, okay? So this feature of Hanuman we need to understand. The backup of Hanuman is Rudra. Hanumanji is Rudramsha. That we need to understand. And for Tulsidas, not only for Tulsidas, any saint belonging to Ramananda tradition, Shiva is an important guru. Okay. Shiva is taken to be important guru. And Hanuman, again, Hanuman is taken to be a very important guru. to any Rama Bhakta, Hanuman is a guru. Even in Sri Ramanuja Sampradaya, Vedanta Deshika says, Adyatve Hanumat Samayana Guruna, Prakhyapitartah Puman, Sankalpa Suryodaya, he says. An Acharya should be like Hanuman, he says. So, he is a guru. Since he is a guru, he is called as Rama Dhootha. Rama Dhootha Atulita Baladama. Okay. Where is that verse? Yes. Rama Dhootha Atulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavanasuta Nama. Since he is a guru, he is Dhootha. Dhootha is a symbol of guru. Because where he is Dhootha, Dhootha is not an ordinary person. In Mahabharata, the Lord himself is Dhootha. Krishna is Dhootha. In Ramayana, Hanuman is Dhootha. There were many Dhootras for Rama in Ramayana. Even Angada is Rama Dhootha. But when I say Rama Dhootha, whom you remember? Hanuman. Why? Because his Dautya is unique. Angada is just a Dhootha between Rama and Ravana. But Hanuman is a Dhootha between Rama and Sita. It's a very, very important thing. In Valmiki Ramayana, Sita says to Hanuman, Arhasecha kapisreshta maya samabhibhashitum yadyasi preshitasthena ramena viditatmana. You alone deserve to play this role. This is what Sita says. Otherwise, Rama would not have sent you to me. Did Rama send Hanuman to Sita? Rama sent millions and millions of Vanaras in search of Sita. Others couldn't find out. Hanuman found. But Sita says, you alone deserve, therefore Rama sent you. Which means Rama must have sent. No, Rama sent millions. No. Sugriva sent millions, I agree. Among those millions, when Sugriva is engaged in that work, you go to the direction, you go to this direction, you go to that direction. See, Ramasya Aklishta Karmana. Rama is sitting silently. He called Hanuman and gave his ring. Which means Rama knows that this Hanuman is going to see Sita. He did not give this ring to all millions of Vanaras. Okay. As soon as Rama gave that ring, Hanuman felt in his mind, yes, Rama resolved. Rama had chosen me to see Sita Devi, and one whom Rama chooses alone can see her. And therefore, I am going to see her, no doubt. This is what Hanuman felt. And Sita also has this in mind. That is why she is telling, if you don't deserve, Rama would not have chosen you. Preshayishyati durdarshaha ramo na hyaparikshitam parakrama vigyaya matsakasam visheshataha. Hanuman is Guru here. Hanuman is not only Dhootha. Dhootha is a vital role. And in fact, in any Hindu tradition, Acharya is taken to be Dhootha. Because he is in between God and us. I'm not in between means a hurdle. Okay. He takes us to God. And like in the Veda, ritual fire is in between mortals and immortals. Therefore, ritual fire is taken to be Dhootha. Agnim Dhootam Vrunimahe. And ritual fire is Guru too. Okay. When we go to Shiva temple, we should not stand in between Nandi and Shiva. Okay. We should see Lord Shiva through the horns of Nandikeshwara. Through the horns of Nandikeshwara. This is very interesting. When you see the Lingayat philosophy, the great Shaivism of Karnataka, or even before Lingayat, Renukacharya's Siddhanta Shikhamani, there is a wonderful concept. This Nandikeshwara is a primordial jiva, role model for all jivas. He is a guru too. And he also shows us how to surrender oneself to the divine. He is the Pashu. Please understand this. Very interesting. Pashu. He is Pashu. Pashu generally means animal. But in Shaiva Siddhantam, Shaiva Darsanam, Pashu means Jiva. And Pashu is bound by Pasha. Okay. Pasha is nothing but Maya Pasha. Pasha rope nu sollama. Rope. It's Maya bondage. When this bondage is removed, when this rope is removed, when the rope is untied, then Pashu gets united with Pati, Pashupati. Pati is the Lord, the divine. Okay. And we all are Pashus, but primordial Pashu is Nandikeshwara. Therefore, he becomes Guru to all. This is the whole thing is depicted in Pasupata Shastram. You see, a beautiful thing in Sundara Khandam, in the 13th chapter, Hanuman feels, let me unite Sita with Rama, like a Pashu gets united with Pati. Valmiki Ramayana. Pashum Pashupate Riva. I am not talking about Adhyatma Ramayana or later Ramayanas. In Valmiki's Ramayana, I am wondering. I am sure that Valmiki Ramayana is far older than Pashupata Shastram itself. Okay. Valmiki, after reading Pashupata Shastra, he is using these terms. We can't take like that. But how he uses these words, so wonder. All Agama texts, including Vaishnava, Shaiva, all these things are very much later when compared to Valmiki in chronology, if you accept chronology. Okay. Oh, that all scholars agree with me in this context. But that's a very interesting thing. You have both Pashupata and Pancharatra hints in Valmiki. What I feel is this must be because the jargons like Pashu or Pati are not just constricted to Pashupata, but it is Vedic. That's the reason. They are derived from the Veda. Even Renukacharya himself is accepting it. He is acknowledging that. These terms are derived from the Veda. And that is why Valmiki also takes that from the Veda. You can't take this word literally, Pasum Pashupate Riva. If you take that in a literal way, it's very ordinary kind of meaning it will give. Like an animal gets united with the animal keeper. I will unite Sita with Rama. Doesn't convey anything. It's a very nonsensical meaning. Definitely it means like Jiva is getting united with Paramatman. Let me unite Sita with Rama. That's the meaning. Pashu is a word in the Veda. We may think Pashu is animal. Its esoteric meaning Yaska gives. You know Yaska? Yes, etymologist, Niruktakara, very great Rishi. He gives this meaning, Pashyati iti Pashuhu. Pashu means witness. This is this individual jiva. And this Pashu, Abhadram Purusham Pashum. And this Pashu gets united with Pati. This comes in the Veda. Therefore, it is getting reflected in Ramayana too. It comes in Pasupata too. That's very important. So, coming back to the point, Sita is here taken to be the Jiva Tattva and Rama is Paramatmam. To unite them, a Dhootha is required, that is Hanuman. And a very deeper, subtler, sacred lovers they are. Sita and Rama. Okay. To understand the heart of Rama as it is. And to convey the heart of Rama in the most perfect way to Sita. And to understand Sita's heart in the most perfect way. And to convey it to Rama. It is not an easy task. Easy task. When we go into Madhura Bhava, what is it in English? Okay, Madhura Bhava, that is, yeah, lover's love, we can say. Romance is Shringara. Madhura Bhava. Okay, this lover's love to the divine, we can say.
Immense love.
Yeah, immense love can come in Vatsalya, Sakhya, anywhere. Madhura Bhava is the love of lover and beloved. This is Madhura Bhava. When we offer this kind of love to the divine, this is Madhura Bhava. Okay. When we go deeper and deeper into the Madhura Bhava, the layers are very subtle and soft. Okay, something like if you handle few things roughly, say, if you handle your violin, you are a student of violin or veena. Okay, in front of your teacher, if you handle your veena roughly, teacher will become angry. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you handling like this? Because a subtle kind of sentiment is involved in it. In the same way, in Madhura Bhava, which is so soft, when you handle it in a very deviating way, that will not work. He becomes unfit, Dhootha. Hanuman knows the nuances of Madhura Bhava. Therefore, without any rasabhanga, he is the most perfect person to, I don't want to use the word handle here. It's a very uncouth word. Most perfect person to deal with? No.
To get evolved.
To get evolved? With the Madhura Bhava, Sita, if you go through the chapters of Sita Hanumat Sambhashana and Rama Hanumat Sambhashana in last 4 chapters of Sundara Khandam, you can understand how he perfectly becomes a messenger between Rama and Sita. This is a very matchless story. And that's the role of a guru. We Jivatmans, we all are Sitas to the divine Ramachandra. And Hanuman is our guru. Therefore, Tulsidas, at the end of Hanuman Chalisa says, Kripa, what's that? Kripa karo Gurudev ki. I think at the end it has become whole of Sanskrit. Sanskrit mein Hanuman, okay. Yeah, before that, Kripa karo Aur Devata Chittana Dhari Jaya 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karahu Gurudev Ki Nai. Okay. You are our Gurudeva and you shower the compassion to us. You are uniting Sugriva and Rama. You are in between, or you are uniting Vibhishana and Rama. You are uniting Sita and Rama, Sakshat Sita Devi and Rama. And you are uniting Bharata and Rama. Bharata was about to enter into fire. Hanuman comes and stops. Hanuman unites Bharata and Rama. And you are uniting Goswami, Tulsidas and Rama. It continues. Doesn't stop with that epic. You are uniting Tyagaraja Swamigal with Rama. There are songs by Tyagaraja Swamigal which says that Hanuman unites them. And you are uniting Samartha Ramadas with Rama. Okay. That great Rama Bhakta you are, up to our times, you play the vital role of uniting us with Rama. For that you are Chiranjeevi. There are so many Chiranjeevis, and our elders say every day morning you need to remember those Chiranjeevis.
Ashwatthama Bali.
Yes, Ashwatthama Balir Banahava.
Balar Vyaso.
Balir Vyasa. Yes.
Parashuramascha.
Satyate Chiranjeevinaha. And
Markandeya again.
I don't know why Ashwatthama is Chiranjeevi. Okay, but Hanuman has a purpose to be Chiranjeevi. Okay. What is his purpose? Rama Rasayira Tubure Pasa. Sada Raho Raghupati Ke Dasa. This is the purpose for which Hanuman is Chiranjeevi. Sita blesses Hanuman to be Chiranjeevi. For what? May you enjoy Ramayana throughout your life. You will remain in this world till Ramayana will exist. Why are you there? To enjoy Ramayana. Definitely I am not going to get bored with the topic. So you be here and enjoy Ramayana. Not only that, Sada Raho Raghupati Ke Dasa. Be always a servant of Rama. What does it mean? Be always a servant of Rama. What does it mean? The answer is always fulfill the will of Rama. What's the will of Rama? We all know what's the will of Rama. Ask him, he will tell. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatpanam srijamiham. To safeguard dharma is the will of Rama. So whenever dharma diminishes, Hanuman is there to take care. Okay. So he impels someone. We see in history. We see this in history. Why dharma doesn't diminish in India? See, all cultures have gone. Unfortunately. Egyptian culture, Mayan culture, Greek culture, Roman culture, they all have gone. But India remains in its culture. And I am extremely proud to practice polytheism. I love my polytheism. I am a polytheist. Hope that you all are. Okay, that is our culture. Having many gods is our culture. Okay, I am not ashamed. Not only not ashamed, but also proud to be an idol worshipper. Okay. Okay, I am proud of that. See, people are wondering around the world how these guys continue to remain. They did not come to our clutch. They did not become the prey, okay, of our concept of division. How? How do they imagine? This must be due to that Saturn. India is a very great kingdom of Saturn. and these guys are going to go to eternal hell. That's what they think. Poor fellows. Okay, they think like that. But see, continuously saints after saints after saints come in India. And spirituality always continues to exist in India. And India remains up to our times as a spiritual guru of the whole world. The whole world is looking at India for guidance. I am sure about it. Why again and again, see, with all such materialistic comforts, why again and again some rich persons from the Western world come to that country, sitting in that scorching heat, somewhere in Tirunelveli or somewhere, some other place in Himalayas and all, they are sitting for what? Why Paul Brunton has to come to India? Okay. Yeah, true. Seeking, spiritual seeking, and beyond all these materialistic comforts, there is spirituality. After having, in spite of all these comforts, people feel a vacuum and people feel dissatisfied. Therefore, they run after India. And we have very great sadhus, renunciate souls, very great souls. I'm telling, whenever dharma diminishes, Bhagavan comes to uplift dharma. This itself shows Bhagavan's love towards dharma. And this dharma has to be the will of Bhagavan. And serving to that will is service. What's that passage? Rama rasayana tumre pasa, sada raho raghupati ke dasa. Not only means massaging the lotus feet of Rama, fanning Rama, not only that, but also serving dharma. Serving dharma. Dharma diminished, let me conclude with this. Dharma diminished in 1600. Okay. The whole of India was almost captured. People were suffering like anything. Please understand. You can't even conduct a marriage in public. Women will be captured and sold in Iran. That was the condition in India on those days. Leave alone religious matters, conducting a Sita Kalyanam, conducting a temple ceremony. Okay, even secular activities like marriage, you can't perform in public. If you are a Hindu, you should be ashamed for that. For that, you have to pay jizya tax. Hereafter, no Hindu can lift his head up. Always they should be like this. And those who stood for Hindu Dharma, they were all defeated. You know, Rajasthan was defeated as a whole. And Vijayanagara Samrajya was demolished. And Punjabis, the great soul Guru Govind Singh was tortured like anything. His sons were buried alive. And his disciple Pantha Bairagi was roasted in the hot oil tub. So, Hindus were threatened like anything. We should keep quiet. No other go. Nobody to rescue us. This was the feeling of those days. At that time, with the guidance of Hanuman, someone came. Yes. Samartha Rama came. Okay. Samartha Rama came to establish Hindu Rashtra. When the great king Shahaji, the father of Shivaji, he went and fell at the feet of Samartha Rama and said, "Oh Gurudev, please bless me to establish Hindu Swaraj, Hindavi Swaraj. In Marathi they call us Hindavi Swaraj. To establish Hindavi Swaraj in South India, please bless us. Another kingdom like Vijayanagara should come to resurrect Hindu Dharma in South India." Samartha Rama smiled and said, Oh, my dear Shahaji, why your mind is narrowed? Why only South India? I need to see here saffron flag from Attak. There is a place called Attak in Afghanistan. From Attak to Kanyakumari. It is going to happen, he said. And it happened in history. It happened in history. If you go through Indian history in reality, you can see all these things. Quite impossible. Became possible through this gentleman. Which gentleman? Hanuman. Okay. And Samartha Rama, of course. I don't see any difference between them.
They both are called to be
Yes,
Hanuman.
yes. So, what is that? Asadhya sadhaka swamin. This is asadhya sadhana. So, we need to remember the statement of Bhagavad Gita whenever dharma diminishes, Hanuman comes. Bhagavan comes or Hanuman comes. That is why he is Chiranjeevi and he will always serve Sadaraho Raghupati Ke Dasa. Being the servant of the Lord, fulfilling his will, he always remains guiding all of us. Therefore, Sanatan remains always Sanatan. Sanatan Dharma will never die. So, with this, we shall conclude. Dhanyavadas.